When is a game not just a game? And when is the game playing you? Have you ever watched reality TV game shows like The Traitors or Survivor and wondered if it's really just a game? Because in those shows, people have to lie and cheat and deceive each other and try and build up each other's trust and then betray that trust. And that's how you win the game. And you might think, well, it's just a game. That's just how you're winning. But these people are immersed in this, environment for weeks at a time. And isn't there also a kind of psychological reality to that? Now, if you go back to early reality shows like Big Brother, one of the things that the producers of those shows were informed by was social psychology experiments. Experiments like the Stanford Prison Experiment from 1971, for instance. You might have heard of it. It's the one where you have a bunch of students who are all roughly the same age, and they get divided up into playing guards and prisoners in this simulated prison environment in the basement of the psychology building at Stanford University in California, right? And supposedly what that shows is how cruel people can become in institutional environments. The experiment was supposedly going to go on for 2 weeks, and then they shut it down after 6 days because the guards were becoming brutal, we're told, and the prisoners were breaking down. But what we don't think about is whether amidst all that psychological reality, there's also some game playing going on, right? It's the reverse of the game shows. Because, for instance, the guy who was the most brutal of the guards was a drama student, and he thought he was playing the role he'd been asked to play. So he was being a tough guard from all the movies that he'd watched. I was a drama student once, and in fact, I was in an awful lot of like improvised role-playing games doing that. And now I'm a drama professor. I teach the stuff, and so I've always been really interested in these kinds of experiments. So I wrote a book about them called Incarceration Games. And so now I'm an expert, apparently. In fact, I'm so much of an expert that they've put me on television talking about it. Are you curious about the psychological games we all play, the roles we perform? Are you curious about the power dynamics involved? If so, join me, Steve Scott-Bottoms, on the 4th of June here at the Martin Harris Centre for a special event called Playing with Cruelty. I'll be talking to Professor Stephen Reicher, a leading social psychologist, and we'll be talking about our contributions to the forthcoming documentary series from National Geographic called The Stanford Prison Experiment, Unlocking the Truth. We'll be trying to unlock the truth about that 50-year-old psychology experiment and how it was staged. And we'll be asking the questions,